It is Super Bowl week, and there is a lot to discuss with our Baltimore Ravens. Now, while I know the Ravens aren't playing in the game that we thought they would, there is still some news to get caught up on when it comes to this team. So, in this video today, we are going to talk about some things related to the team. And first off, we're going to talk about some possible key additions to this team, even though the Ravens have a roster that is in flux. I know they're still trying to figure out what to do with Ronnie Stanley. And what are we going to do about keeping Brandon Stevens? But there are some potential moves that have been made with other teams that may affect the Ravens going into the offseason, may affect their decision making. Also, we are going to talk about some sad news when it comes to the Ravens flock. And also, we're going to talk about the 5 best quarterbacks currently in the NFL that have not won a Super Bowl. But first, Ravens flock, let's fly. All right, if you've been like me and have not been on the internet too much because you were depressed, you were down, that's why you haven't seen videos from me, because I didn't really care too much about sports. I didn't care what was going on because the team that I wanted to reach the Super Bowl, it just did not happen. So finally, I think I'm over what has ailed me for the past few weeks, and I think I'm ready to get back at it. And once I did, some amazing news came about that first and foremost, Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns told the organization that, hey, I want to be traded. I don't want to go into rebuild mode. I want to be with a contender. I have done all I can when it comes to individual accolades. I want that team success. I want to win that ring. I want to be a champion. And he knows that it's not going to happen with Cleveland. He thought there may have been a possibility when Deshaun Watson came in and the team was turning around its fortunes, but it is still the same old Cleveland Browns. And he knows he will never, ever get to a championship in Cleveland. They can barely make it to the playoffs. They can barely have back-to-back winning seasons. So it is understandable for a talent like that, for a guy who was drafted #1 overall, to want to go to a contender. And a lot of Ravens fans now are extremely excited, thinking that there is a possibility that they can have Myles Garrett on this defensive line. Yes, last season, the Baltimore Ravens did lead the league in sacks, and this past season, they were #2. But a lot of that pressure was generated. And just like in the playoffs with certain people in certain positions, we don't get that same productivity as we do in the regular season. So the Ravens actually need an individual who can create one-on-one mismatches, guys that can win without blitzing. And Myles Garrett is that dude. But unfortunately, there is a high probability that the Browns are not going to trade him in division. Now, if they kind of have this relationship where they respect his decision and want the best for him, it doesn't always happen, but there are some cases where organizations say, you know what, we're going to try to do what's best for you. You've given all that you could to this organization, so we're going to try to give something back to you and help you win that elusive title. Sometimes, not always. So I doubt that the Cleveland Browns are going to do this because they are a porous franchise with porous ownership and porous leadership. Don't think it's going to happen. But there is another guy who is working, or supposedly working, with his team to find him a home. This guy is the one guy that really interests me. He has done a lot in his 8 years in the NFL. Granted, he is a little bit older, being 31 years old, but of what the Ravens have done in the past, I'll take it. And if you do not know, the Los Angeles Rams have informed Cooper Kupp that they intend on trading him. I don't know where this relationship soured. I don't know what happened, but listen, Los Angeles does what Los Angeles does. They won a Super Bowl, but not only have they won one, they've been to 2. So whatever they are doing behind the scenes is working for them. 2 Super Bowls in the last 6 years, it's pretty good. But I guess they feel like that Cooper Kupp has nothing left in the tank. And then with them drafting Puka Nacua, they feel like they have that #1 wide receiver and they no longer need Kupp. Now, for me, I'm ecstatic because I do believe that Cooper Kupp can come in here and actually help the Ravens win. A lot of people are sour on him, talking about he's older, he's slower. He's always been slow. I thought back in the day, during the draft, the Ravens should have drafted him in the 3rd round, but we now have a chance to rectify things and make it right and possibly get T. Higgins in free agency. Wrong 2 rights in 1 offseason, but beggars can't be choosers, and I'm not trying to be greedy. So the Ravens can actually go in, make a trade. We have 11 picks in this upcoming draft, so I'm sure that they can put together a package to get Cooper Kupp on this team. Now, as far as financial compensation, Kupp is owed $20 million next season and $19 million in 26. But I'm sure if the Rams are trying to get rid of Kupp as fast as they say that they are, they will absorb some of that cap hit. But I don't care about the monetary value because the money is not coming out anybody's pockets over there at one winning drive. So if you want to win a Super Bowl, we have to fix the things that ail us. And I understand we got Bateman, we got Zay, we have exciting players that do their thing. But in Cup, we have a receiver with reliable hands. You can say what you want about Bateman, you can say what you want about Zay. They drop balls, pause, constantly, consistently. Cooper Kupp is that chain mover. He's that man that can beat zone. He can beat man to man. When you absolutely need a first down, he is the guy to get it. And people are going to tell me, well, Hendo, he's been injured. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. He's had 201 receptions for 2,259 yards, 17 touchdowns over the last 3 seasons. I mean, 33 games played, not good. It's not good. But let's look at the totality of what Cooper Kupp has done throughout his time in the NFL. In his 8 years, he has 634 receptions for 7,776 yards to go along with 57 touchdowns. That is really good. And if you really dive deeper into the perspective of this, I want you guys to think about this. The Ravens' all-time leading receiver has 471 receptions. All-time leading catcher in Ravens history. 29 years, 471. Kupp has 634 himself. Baltimore Ravens' leading wide receiver has 5,777 yards. Cooper Kupp has almost 8,000 by himself. The Baltimore Ravens' leading touchdown getter, who just crossed the 50 mark plateau this season, has 51 total touchdowns. Cooper Kupp has 57 receiving. So yes, over the last 3 seasons, hasn't been as great as he has. But in 2021, he was outstanding. He won the Triple Crown. He had 145 receptions for 1,947 yards and 16 touchdowns. Yes, I don't think we'll ever see that Cooper Kupp again, but we have somebody that can help out. We can have somebody that can be a complementary piece to Zay and Bateman. Listen, Bateman can go deep, Zay can do the underneath and intermediate, and Coop can just do his thing and get open and get his first downs. You cannot deny bringing in extra talent. I can remember when people were extremely excited about, hey, the Ravens are signing Deshaun Jackson. The Ravens are getting Dez Bryant. Ravens fans are up, oh my gosh, big receiver. Oh my gosh, we're going to do such amazing things. But now when we're talking about Cooper Kupp, we don't need him. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. 7 years. Exiting the playoffs earlier than we should have. We need all the help, talent, and just luck that we can to make it to that next level. So I don't understand why people are so down on bringing in Cooper Kupp. But I guarantee you, if we'd have said, hey, let's bring in this old washed up safety, everybody be like, we need him. We need that defense. We need to bring in somebody that can help out and be that third safety where we have needs elsewhere. Wide receiver is an actual need. We could be losing Nelson Aguilar. We could be losing Tylan Wallace. Steve Sims is a free agent. Like, there are guys that aren't going to be on this team. And bringing in a former Triple Crown winner would be an amazing move for the Baltimore Ravens. Just in my opinion. Next up, there is some sad news to announce. Like I said, haven't been on social media too much, but I got on Twitter today, and unfortunately today I found out that Ravens Flock, the Twitter room for Ravens fans, has been disbanded. It's been deleted. There is no more Flock Nation for the people, and people are up in arms. I didn't know that there was actually a group, a fandom. I didn't know that there was something for people to be where people could come in, but apparently there were too many trolls. Something happened. Guys just weren't into running that site anymore. I don't know what happened, but I just know that people are extremely upset. And I just want everybody to know I am here for you. And if you need to say anything, you need to get something off your chest, you have any suggestions, like if there's anything that you need to talk about, just call me up at 1-800 what we gonna do. And we'll find a solution for this. Maybe we'll start something else. Maybe we'll find somebody else to bring in another page and do this thing all over again, because Ravens fans need a space that's safe where they can talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Apparently we don't need as many trolls as I guess was in there. I don't know, but I'm here for you guys, truly. And last but not least, since it is Super Bowl week, I'm here to talk about the 5 quarterbacks that are currently in the NFL who haven't made a Super Bowl. I'm going to rank them from worst to best. And this list is going to surprise you because I know everybody's going to believe number 1 is Lamar Jackson. But stay tuned to find out. First, I'm going to talk about the honorable mentions. I'm going to talk about the 2 guys that just missed the list. First is Crumble Cookie. Jared Goff. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's had some offensive teams that should have done a lot better than they did the last 2 seasons. They just didn't do it. So Jared Goff, he comes in an honorable mention. Crumble Cookie, one of these days. Then we have Folding Chair. Dakota Rain Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what's wrong with him. He just crumbles at the worst time. Makes some of the worst mistakes. And it's not always turnovers. It's just clock management. It's just, I don't know. He's been in the league long enough to know. So those are the 2 honorable mentions. But coming in at number 5, I am going to put Jaden Daniels there. I think that young man taking his team to an NFC championship was amazing. It is an amazing feat that I think only one other rookie quarterback or 2 other rookie quarterbacks have done. And he almost made it to a Super Bowl. And even though he's only been in the league 1 year, I'm putting him above those other 2 quarterbacks because he plays mistake-free football. He gives his team an opportunity to win. And I just think with the Commanders adding a few more pieces to that team, they can possibly make a run to the Super Bowl. Now, coming in at number 4, we have Jalen Hurts. I know a lot of people think that he is a fraud, but in the playoffs, he has been very dependable. A few seasons back when they made the Super Bowl, he quite possibly and arguably was the best player in the Super Bowl. Outside of that fumble, don't know what happened, he, to me, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. He's been on some squads. He only has 2 turnovers throughout his playoff runs. And I think that, come Sunday, we'll find out if he's still on this list. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the guy that almost made it to the Super Bowl, and that would be Josh Allen. Listen, I know a lot of Buffalo Bills fans think that Ravens fans hate Josh Allen and think that he's the worst quarterback in the world, but I personally think that Josh Allen is amazing, especially where he came from, especially the narrative that he escaped coming out of Wyoming, saying that he was not a polished passer, that his completion percentage was going to make him suffer in the NFL because you can't get better completion percentages, or at least that's what they told us, and Josh Allen has killed that narrative. Whether he's had a number 1 receiver or whether he has not had that true number 1, he has done some amazing things. And even this season, he's taken his game to a higher level and cut down on the turnovers. But alas, he can beat the Chiefs in the regular season. He just can't do it during the postseason. And this is why he is number 3 on the list. Now, sorry, Ravens fans, but coming in at number 2, it's got to be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been to a Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but he's had the weapons. He hasn't always had the offensive line. Cincinnati went out and tried to upgrade the offensive line over the last 2 seasons. It just didn't happen, and the defense has regressed. I know that a lot of people say that he has T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but listen, Joe Burrow is absolutely a talented quarterback. Take nothing from him. Yes, he does benefit from having weapons, but you can't fault him for his team surrounding him with the offensive pieces that he needed to be a better quarterback. But the guy can play. He can ball out. Just unfortunate this last season for Bengals fans, not for me because I don't care about them, that they couldn't stop teams. The only team in NFL history to continuously score 30-something points a game and still lose. And that's just a testament to how great Joe Burrow has been in his time in the NFL. Now, if he can only stay healthy and they can actually build a team around him, he may change this narrative. So, of course, coming in at number 1, who the number 1 quarterback of all time that hasn't won a Super Bowl is? Of course, it's Lamar Jackson. What were you guys thinking? He's the best player in the NFL right now. He is possibly, and we are 2 days away from finding out if he is going to be MVP3. And I know they're going to come out the woodworks and say, oh, they're only 3-time MVP to not win a Super Bowl. He's 28 years old. He's 3-5 in the playoffs. The exact same position that Peyton Manning was, 3-5 in the playoffs, before in his 9th season, he went on to win the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is going into his 8th season. So right now, we are a year ahead of things. And let's not think that the Ravens can't put some talent around him and have him win a Super Bowl. Because if you just look at everything that Lamar Jackson has done throughout his career, it is utterly amazing. Lamar is the only quarterback in NFL history with multiple 3,000 passing yard seasons and 800 rushing yard seasons. He is also the only quarterback in NFL history to have a 4,000 yard passing season and 900 rushing yards. He also is the league leader in NFL history in quarterback rushing yards. He has the highest rushing total in a season for a quarterback. These are all just rushing stats. It's not even to mention the things in the way that he has prepared himself to become a better quarterback. This season, 4,172 yards, 41 passing touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions. For a guy that was called a running back, to me, this is truly amazing. But like I said, Lamar is only 28 years old. and he has 20,059 passing yards. He also has 6,173 rushing yards. He has 166 passing touchdowns and 33 rushing touchdowns. So the next game that Lamar Jackson plays, his next touchdown will be the 200th of his career. And at age 28, this is not a bad thing. Peyton Manning, John Elway, they did not win Super Bowls until later on in their careers. Lamar still has time. Derrick Henry still has something in the tank. This defense can get better. If they make the right moves in the offseason, Lamar could be looking at his first Lombardi trophy after next season. Because if the Chiefs win this one, I think they break up the band. I know that they said Andy Reid is coming back for next season, but to win 4 straight, just the mental wear and tear, the strain, the extra games, winning 4 straight is highly improbable. I'm not saying that the Chiefs can't do it, but it's highly improbable. But that opens the door for the Ravens to get in there. And this season, listen, we fell short. We didn't do everything that we needed to do, and it is a testament to how great Lamar Jackson is. We told you during a regular season that if Lamar Jackson doesn't have like 140-something passer rating, the team loses. But in this postseason, he had 121 passer rating, which is pretty good. So you can't put everything, you can't put all the losses on Lamar. Yes, he's made mistakes, but he's done and made plays to win the game. And I guarantee you, in this last game versus Buffalo, if we had Cooper Kupp, he'd have made that reception on that 2-point conversion. I can guarantee you that one. So we still have next season, which is the mantra that we kind of use each and every year. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? This has actually gotten me excited with the additions that the Ravens can make. Some things that's going on this offseason. We're making slight, subtle changes. Now, I don't talk about the Justin Tucker thing, but we're making some changes to get better as a team. And hopefully this is going to catapult us to a world title next year. I can't wait. It has brought me out of my funk just with the news that has happened in the past week or two. Just a culmination of things that have given me hope that maybe we can break this Baltimore Ravens curse and bring a title to Baltimore. Because I cannot take another year of, yeah, we had the team to do it. We are the best during this period. We're leading the league in this. And then we get to the playoffs and fall flat. I cannot take it for another year, and I won't. But luckily for me, I don't have to. Because as I said before, we have Lamar Jackson. And for the outside world, whether you like it or not, this man is going to win a title. And it's a fact because Hendo said so. So whether you like it or you don't like it, sit back and look at it because Lamar is the best going today. Woo!
Nah, man, I'm cool.